You are listening to Hardly Focused.
On the topic of maniacal individuals, dude, you sounded like Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Hear more at hardlyfocused.com.
Don't try to ever do that again, because that was like a spontaneous thing that was just perfect the way it happened. This song's a little too appropriate for talking about the coronavirus. So we're all stuck working from home, obviously, indefinitely. We're going to find out in the state of Massachusetts if we'll be able to, do anything starting tomorrow. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to be the realist right there.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It's going to get extended again. They need to just stop extending these to dates. They say, they'll find out how things are going over time, and they extend the lockdown another month. There's absolutely no reason to do that. The company for which I work, who will remain unnamed, did the smart thing in saying everyone is working from home indefinitely.
Nice.
So.
We had specific guidelines given to us that basically until the governor opens things up officially and the trend of COVID cases is on the down for 2 straight weeks. It cannot spike at all for 2 straight weeks. It has to just be on a steady decline. Then we will do a phased, slow opening.
Yeah,
but until that happens, I ain't going back.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, I want it to happen. I've been seeing signs up saying that, hey, our business may reopen on May 18th, May 19th. They're just going to look silly if they put those dates up. I walked by. There's a church down the street from me, and I walked by it and walked by the front doors to it, and they had a sign up that you might as well just print out a new one of these if you're going to do this. It said, we are closed until March 29th, crossed out. April 16th, crossed out. There's 3 dates on there that are crossed out, and then finally they just wrote indefinitely.
That's when you just get that whiteboard tape, so you can just like scribble it out and write the new one.
Yeah.
Although it's getting close. I mean, so there's only really 2 of us working in the department right now, and my coworker, his mom just got diagnosed with it, and he was hanging out with his mom on Mother's Day. So I'm like, whoa. Boy, am I happy I don't work with you in the same office right now.
So the radio show used to listen to Kevin and Bean, and the Bean part of that, who's now in the UK, just posted on Twitter that despite him thinking that he was doing everything he was instructed to do, he has it. I mean,
sometimes you're just unlucky. I mean,
yeah. I think I don't know. I don't want to be like, make it sound like this is a case of FOMO or, wanting validation for any reason. I wonder if I had it before everything really hit the fan, because when I got sick in February, I had never been that sick before with anything closely resembling the flu, and just the symptoms that I had when people talk about like what the very basic symptoms of COVID are, sounded very similar to what I had, because I just had like this, I thought it was heartburn, just this persistent heartburn that wouldn't go away, but it was like not where heartburn usually is for me. It was more like really in the center of like my chest, like where my like rib cage sort of ends. And
like your breathing was going to start being labored, and you might need a ventilator perhaps.
Yeah. Because they like prescribed me some crap that I never ended up taking, but it was nuts. So I wonder like if I had it and then just I was fine, but everything else just hit the fan afterwards, and maybe I'm like
saying that potentially cases went back to like December of last year even.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very possible. I mean, and you just didn't have like or the people that were getting it weren't having like the worst reactions to it yet.
Like a mild case of COVID.
Right. Well, I mean, that's like part of the weird thing about COVID. Like, you could be asymptomatic almost entirely and like be walking around, spreading around, and or you might just have mild symptoms, or you could straight up die. Like,
Yep.
that's quite the gamble.
Well, until a vaccine is developed and readily available, and available to everybody like the flu shot, we are, going to be stuck inside, working from home, not being able to enjoy anything, not being able to go to supermarkets without wearing face masks, restaurants are everything's going to be takeout only. I'm just being a realist again, but that's just how it's going to be until literally a vaccine comes out that you could just walk into CVS and get.
Right. Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. So, we'll see you again in 2022 the way this is going. The CEO of Twitter, who is the reason why I can't be at Jack on Twitter, announced that his employees are free to work from home, quote unquote, forever.
Ooh. I mean, realistically, their whole thing is like a website. So I can't imagine there's a lot of positions short of like janitorial staff that need to be on, campus or anything like that.
Right. They're also based out of the Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken. So that would actually make things a lot easier for just people around there because, that opens, if you're not required to have to be in an office, the Bay Area is one of the most expensive places to live. I mean, if you're not making six figures, you're technically in poverty. And that certainly opens a lot of doors where people aren't necessarily now bound to have to live in that region. They can actually move and expand, and also opens up the doors for, other folks to join the team and not necessarily have to be based out of San Francisco.
Very true. Well, I mean, what was it? Vermont was offering just last year or the year before, possibly even both years, they were offering up to 10 grand in moving assistance if you lived in Vermont and worked remotely outside of Vermont. I mean, they were trying to pull people in. And I mean, if the world starts going remote, that's going to make it a lot easier. I would
live in Vermont. Now that I've, found out that doing everything remotely is not as hard as I thought it was. I would live in Vermont so long as I could ensure that I have good internet. And I fear that might be a challenge in Vermont.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge limiting factor, obviously. I mean, there's satellite internet and stuff like that, but I don't know I guess it's pretty good nowadays, but it's still no landlines, so to speak.
Right.
And that's going to be the real limitation. But I think at the same time, so another thing I'm a little curious about is this going to be the argument that we can finally make to call an ISP a service and not like a luxury? Like that was whole Ajit fucking fuckfakes over there. Like he was all like, oh no, you don't need the internet. It's a luxury. And it's like, well, it's kind of like electricity at this point, like especially now. And this kind of proves the point. Yeah. It's a utility, not a, it ain't cable, It's not like cable TV. You absolutely need the internet to really function in today's day and age.
I absolutely agree. And yeah, this does make a really solid case for that. And there's also a lot of stigmas too that now are disappearing and have been lifted because of this whole thing. Working from home being one of them.
Right.
When people were so abrasive to it in the past and willing to adapt to it. I know that, my employers didn't want me doing it more than one day a week. They're like, you need to be in the office. Yeah. You should be so fortunate to be allowed to do it once a week.
Right.
Well, now we're all doing it because we have no choice, and everything is going just as smoothly, if not better. So if and when we are ever allowed to actually return to our offices, you better make damn sure I'm only going to be there twice a week on a as needed basis. I'll go in for big meetings, but if I can just stay home and do everything from home, like
definitely.
If I feel like if I wake up one day and say, hey, I don't feel like going in, okay, I can just walk 10 feet down the hall, sign on, there we go.
I feel like a lot of the stigma kind of was given because, the people that really own these companies, the ones that are in high positions they're older. They they might have lived without the internet. They're used to working their 40-hour work week, regardless of whether or not they're really putting in 40 hours of work at all. And most of them weren't. You go to the office, you drink like 7 cups of coffee, you dick around the office, you talk to all your coworkers. Like, you might get half a day's worth of work done, and the other half of it's really just like, I don't know, meandering around the office and kind of like just making sure things are kosher.
Yeah, I mean, there are definite advantages to actually being in the office. I mean, I would like to see my coworkers, and having that, face-to-face communication is always nice.
It's not entirely not needed. It's just not as needed. Like, you have to be here 40 hours a week, or clearly the company will fail kind of deal.
Yeah, there's definitely been instances that have come up for me at work recently where, had we been in a room together, problems wouldn't have occurred, right? And it's there are some things that are just very difficult to do being remote, but like, if I have the option where I can actually go in and see people like that,
right. And of course, this kind of depends on what company you're working in. Me and you both work in a fairly decent field where like things can be done remotely.
Right.
Your average janitor is not going to be working remotely ever.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, I have nothing but admiration for the folks who actually do have to go into work and, still be in person and have to be all, dolled up in masks and gloves and whatnot. I mean, that's, my neighbor, he's a mail carrier, right? And I've told him, I'm like, kind of jealous that you still get to actually go into work and be in a workplace with people. I was doing a Zoom call with someone based out of Florida who, they're I think already in the reopening phases, which I know is, angering a lot of people. But I just straight up told this person, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of jealous that you're in your office right now working with people sitting next to you and walking around you, and no one's wearing face masks. And
right.
Yeah, that's what I
mean, it makes sense that Florida reopens. They're going to be underwater in a few years anyway. So
I mean, it's Florida. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I doubt that Massachusetts will reopen, but at least, if companies that are able to should take a page from what Twitter is doing, because that is a solid approach and the right approach to take.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now there's obviously industries out there that sort of rely on people being in business, and a lot of that is centered around the entertainment industry. So, I would hope that, we can all return to business as usual, at least hopefully before the end of the year, because, I'm getting kind of sick of all the late night shows being done out of people's living rooms. And,
oh my gosh. I see they have worse audio quality than we do, for real. Like I hear like these daytime talk shows, and like it's like some lady who's clearly just using like her laptop webcam, and it's like pointed up at her like eyeballs, so you can only see half her face, and the echo in the room is just like deplorable, and it's just like making this like horrible sounds. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, your studio didn't just give you good equipment to work with? Like,
yeah, right.
How are they expecting you to do this on like your 8-year-old MacBook Pro? Like,
yeah, my boss actually told me that a requirement for everyone to work from home is they have to have audio equipment comparable to mine, microphones comparable to mine.
I mean, hey, it helps. It really does.
Well, there's that. There's all the talk shows and the late night shows that are all doing everything from home. The other thing is, for example, the show The Blacklist. That's that show on NBC that's got James Spader. Their season finale, they had only filmed some of it before everything shut down. So they actually had a company like do subpar animation to fill out the rest of the episode. And
really,
you can find it online. Kotaku has, or part of the whole Gizmodo group, they have footage from that episode. I mean, it looks awful. It looks just terrible. It looks like someone tried to. There was that game that came out on the PS2 a long time ago called 13, and it was well regarded for its art style. This production looks like someone trying to do their best attempt at cloning this, but with minimal animation, art, production skills.
And they were probably working remote to boot.
Oh yeah, the clip, you can hear James Spader talking, and it's very clear that he's like in his living room talking into like a webcam because there's so much reverb and echo.
It's just everywhere.
So
I see my grandparents spend all day, watching that kind of crap, and it's just like, wow, like the quality of television. I mean, not like it was super high to begin with, but it's really gone downhill now.
right. So hopefully soon we'll be able to get back to some semblance of normalcy. But a lot, where all these things are based out of too. California, Los Angeles, New York. Those are all the hard hit areas right now. So
right.
Oh yeah, and speaking of California, I'm not going. I was supposed to go next week. That's not happening.
Yeah, I think your plans might have been a little squished there.
I officially canceled everything today. I mean, one of my flights was already canceled, like by the airline, because, or I think it was two of the. I was going in and out of Providence, not Logan in Boston, and one airline completely suspended all of their service to Manchester, New Hampshire, and Providence. So my flights. Like at least one of my flights was canceled, like entirely, and I had to go through and cancel the rest of them. So I got, I don't care if I get a refund. I got a credit I can use, between now and the end of next year, so I can, just as easily rebook my trip and go. But
right,
God, what a pain in the ass! I was really like, when everything really started hitting the fan. That's when I jumped on buying airline tickets because they were cheap. I think this is the cheapest.
Cheaper than ever.
This is the cheapest I've ever paid for airline tickets, but at the same time, really banking on this not really lasting any longer than it was supposed to. So.
Right. I mean, initially it was like, there's a few cases here. Like maybe we can just isolate those guys. And then there was that whole like Boston conference, and just like, 60 people got it. And that's when I threw up my hands and I was like, we're effed. Like, I'm going out to buy a whole bunch of groceries. I'm out of here.
Yeah, when the shutdown officially happened in March, that's when I lost all confidence when all the restaurants were closed.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And I mean, like you were saying earlier, it's really not going to go back to full normal until we have a real vaccine that everyone can have.
Right. And that's a long ways out.
Well, I mean, maybe Farmer Bro can help us out.
No, because even if he has the ability to do it, he's going to jack up the price to $1 trillion per shot.
Oh, of course. Only the rich will be able to afford the immunity here.
Yeah. Martin Shkreli, best known as the person who bought that Wu-Tang Clan album for some obscene amount of money.
Props to Wu-Tang for being able to sell that shit. Jesus.
He was pushing, according to ABC News, he was pushing for early release, compassionate release from prison, so he could work on curing the coronavirus.
Yeah, sure. That's why he wanted to get out of prison.
Yeah. What a piece of shit. It's one of those things where like
still a piece of shit.
When that dude's when that dude made the news for what he did with the HIV medication and the reaction to that and the way he was handling it and just all the dumb shit he was doing. I really didn't believe it when I'd heard that he had been arrested and was actually facing like serious jail time for securities fraud. And then the fact that they actually put him away.
Oh yeah, not for a short time either. I mean, they got 84 months.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Insane.
It's absolutely insane. It's absolute insanity. According to the article here, U.S. District Court Judge Kiyu Matsumoto issued her ruling on Saturday, siding with federal prosecutors and probation officials who urge her to rebuff the 37-year-old Shkreli's petition, which they described in court documents as the type of, quote, delusional self-aggrandizing behavior that got him a lengthy sentence in the first place.
Oof. Damn, she hit him good.
Yeah. That's why.
I don't see why he couldn't help remotely.
Yeah, right.
Remotely from his prison cell. Just give the guy an internet connection.
I feel like I read something where he was actually like trying to do work from prison and like got busted because he was doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing. He was actually like trying to work with folks on the outside to like keep
hilarious.
Keep his businesses going. Yeah. That's why I'm also
some people are trying to smuggle in cigarettes. This dude's trying to run a business.
That's why I'm also not a professional broadcaster too, because I can't pronounce simple words like aggrandizing. See, I still can't pronounce it.
Something about graham crackers? What?
Aggrandizing? I don't know. Let's spend the rest of the episode trying to pronounce this word. And we need the college-educated Mike Terrari here to help us.
You could always go to the Google pronunciation page and have it say it for you.
Yeah, by a woman with a sultry non-American accent.
It'll sound wonderful.
The article goes on to say the court does not find that releasing Mr. Shkreli will protect the public, even though Mr. Shkreli seeks to leverage his experience with pharmaceuticals to help develop a cure for COVID-19 that he would purportedly provide at no cost. Bullshit.
No cost to himself.
Yeah, no cost. It concludes here. In any event, Mr. Shkreli's self-described altruistic intentions do not provide a legal basis to grant his motion. I can imagine it was just one sentence that he just scrawled down that just says, I am going to cure coronavirus.
I will cure the corona.
Just as a background, Shkreli, who first became famous for hiking the price of a life-saving HIV drug from $13.50 a pill to $750 a pill, was indicted along with co-defendant Evan Griebel in 2015 on multiple securities fraud charges linked to healthcare-heavy hedge funds, MSMB Capital Management, and MSMB Healthcare Management. Not to be confused with the guy who orchestrated Fire Festival.
Wow.
I thought, like, I was reading this article and I was thinking to myself, like, Fire Festival. This was the guy. Like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm confusing the Fire Festival guy with Martin Shkreli.
They're both dicks. So, I mean, it's understandable.
I couldn't believe it, too. Like I said earlier, when I thought it was fake news that Shkreli was going to prison, that he actually got indicted on something and he was actually facing serious jail time.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the hiking of the price that got him, right? It was just the fact that he was a douchebag in many other ways.
Right. Yeah. Everyone just hated him. But I because they announced that Wu-Tang Clan album was purchased by someone who wanted to remain anonymous, but someone who had no issue spending that much money, like bidding that much and then actually paying that much to get the album. And then it was revealed over time that it was Martin Shkreli. And
it's hilarious too, because he can't even listen to it now.
Right. And I think I don't think he owns it anymore. I think he in turn sold it so he could pay for like court fees.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. So that's sitting in some collector's basement.
Right. Oh, it's gotta be like locked away in a vault.
Yeah, most likely.
I think that's what
I probably wouldn't keep something that valuable sitting around.
Right. Well, I think that's what happened. I think it was in a vault somewhere, and I don't know. I don't think it is leaked online either. I think there are bits and pieces you can hear. Shkreli actually, I think, live streamed. He did like a live stream on like Facebook or something, where he played bits and pieces of the album, but that's the only like existence that it has.
Yeah, they did a good job of keeping that from leaking online. I feel like they probably used computers that weren't even connected to the internet while they were making it, just for the extra,
right,
security.
Yeah, how do you get away with not leaking anything or having anything leak? That seems like it is such a challenge nowadays.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the government's got like taps into your computer. The Russian government's got taps into your computer. The Chinese government got taps into your computer. I mean, it's way beyond script kiddies nowadays. So if they want to leak something, they're gonna leak something.
Well, let's think about like the new Last of Us game that's coming out, which that's pretty much the only thing I'm looking forward to in life right now. But that game somehow, a build of it leaked online recently, and that's one of those things that you think would be held under such heavy security and scrutiny, given its the level of anticipation that's expected, and b just the property, just the IP, and and the company behind it too. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like it was probably like one of the developers, they threw it up to their Dropbox because they wanted to work remotely, and then it was like, oops, wait.
Didn't Sony, when they had that hack, like everyone's passwords were posted online because they like stored it all in like a plain text file?
Oh yeah, not even an encrypted file. Literally just a list of, oh my gosh, like the worst security you could ever consider.
God, that was a nightmare. That was a mess.
Plain text. Like
That's how we got our PS3 though, because Sony gave it to Kate for free when she was working
Really?
at GameStop. That was like,
oh nice.
Sony was like, hey, all managers and assistant managers at all the GameStops around the world, or at least in the US, get free PlayStation 3s as an apology, as a plea to continue doing business with Sony.
Interesting. I wonder how GameStop's going to manage this.
They're
'Cause I
not.
think they've been closed. You know, they're not considered essential by any means.
Remember when they tried to argue that though?
Yeah. Oh, we're providing entertainment in these troubling times.
They tried to argue it, and it didn't fly. And then they like were defying orders and staying open, and then we're finally
Yeah, literally telling their managers, no, you still have to come in. It's like, dude, if the law enforcement says I'm not going in, I'm not going to listen to my man. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to corporate.
I think the with everything that happened, this has to be like the nail in the coffin for GameStop. Like GameStop was not doing well for a long time before COVID came around. I mean,
Right.
they merged with ThinkGeek, so now like anytime you go into a GameStop, there's just everything is there's like half video games and half just tchotchkes everywhere. Like they were already throwing Hail Marys to begin with, and
Anything to grab onto what they could.
right. Computer sounds like it's getting ready to take off and fly away.
That's not good.
I mean, I got dusted out.
It makes a big difference. I dusted mine out recently. Man, I did not realize I had like clumps of dust in there as much as I did.
I didn't realize until fairly recently that the case I have has like removable like air filters.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I just found that out by accident, so that's a treat. That powered USB strip that you suggested too, that's working out quite well.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm
love
a big fan of them.
Well, the USB ports, I love that they're all powered, individually powered, so I can shut them off if I'm not using them.
Yes.
And the fact that it's got it like an auxiliary port in the front, literally just for charging a single device, is fantastic too. So, yeah, absolutely great suggestion. Thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. I am using it to power right now. Well, not right now, but I was using it earlier so I have this like tablet thing, a drawing tablet for the most part.
Oh, nice.
And it requires 2 USB ports to run. And it was just destroying my laptop, and it would just keep flickering in and out. And like, you know, you'd hear the doot 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 from like Windows, like seeing and not seeing the display over and over.
That's like when we tried doing live streaming. Remember that? We were trying doing live streaming with the show, and just it was overloading my motherboard. I think that's why like half the USB ports on my motherboard no longer work properly.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same deal. And this was a recent thought, and I was like, oh wait, it worked for Jack, and I already have one. Like, let me try it. And I was like, oh shoot, this actually works, and it hasn't gone out since.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
that's
solid.
great. That is great. I got everything that's still plugged directly into the motherboard is it's all the stuff that I think hasn't completely fried yet, knock on wood, but yeah, I might need to just replace the whole thing at some point, or just build a whole new computer.
That wouldn't be the worst time. Certainly got time to order the parts and build it at home.
Dude, I went to Walmart a couple of weeks ago. Not any of the ones that have been shut down in the state because of all the deaths.
You mean you weren't breaking into closed Walmarts?
I went because my my USB Wi-Fi thingamajigger it pretty much fried itself. Like it was connected, but there was no like internet. It wasn't picking up like it was saying it could pick up a signal, but it wasn't actually like, you know, there was no signal. So Walmart was the I'll use the term again, but it was the Hail Mary for me, because all the other places that I would go to buy my gadgetries, they're all closed. Target, everything, they're sold out of everything. Target usually has...
Yeah, Target was never really that great at keeping stock.
Well, Target usually has the better technology. At least they're up to date with it. They were just sold out of it. So then I go to Walmart and everything is had to have been. It's just like, you see it on Reddit where people find the sealed PlayStation 2 memory cards
Yes.
at Walmart. I found a bunch, like it's all stuff that I think was like put on the shelves there within the last decade and just never sold until I walked in, because I bought I needed in a pinch a USB hub before I bought this powered one. And it straight up says USB 2.0 on the front, and also has hubs for a bunch of proprietary media that is no longer actively used anywhere. And then I got
the huge SD cards from back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's like touting USB 2.0 as brand new technology. So, and then a little Wi-Fi card that it's doing the job, but there may be another upgrade in my future. So, Walmart, good when you're desperate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely found things at Walmart that I couldn't find elsewhere. My ebook reader, honestly, was the latest purchase electronic wise that I made from Walmart. And they were the only one that even had one in stock. Like I had to search way too far and way too hard to find a cheap 5-year-old e-reader. I wasn't looking for anything fancy. But they had it.
I'll go into Walmart and I'll find things that I think look really cool, for gadgets. And then I will buy them and hook them up, and they're just complete garbage. And then I question why I even wasted the money.
Well, that's how they get you. That's why they added groceries and stuff like that, because they're if you go in for your groceries every week, maybe you'll buy this random ass trinket that we throw at the the aisle on your way out.
Dude, I don't know if I would trust I don't know if I would trust produce or meat purchased from Walmart.
Considering they don't have a meat department for the most part, I don't see any butchers there or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure 100% of the stuff they get is pre-pack.
Yeah. Oh, and then just the people that you run into as well. I was at Target last week, and because the Walmart in the area is closed because people who work there have died, and a considerable amount of people who work there have died due to COVID. A lot of folks who do all of their shopping at Walmart are going to Target now, and it's an infestation, if you will.
I have been doing my best when I do have to go out to actually go into the local little shops. The ones that nobody went to beforehand are still somewhat empty.
Yeah. I've heard that places like World Market, the Chinese supermarkets, those are the places to go. No one wants to go to them, but those are the places to go because they're always fully stocked, and they, when the whole toilet paper shortage was happening, the Chinese supermarkets were fully stocked.
Yeah, I believe that. You know who I found selling toilet paper recently? Bushel and Peck.
Isn't that like a deli?
Yeah. Yep. I went in there to grab a sandwich, and sure enough, and it wasn't overpriced or anything, but they had boatloads of clearly it's the industrial stuff that they get for their restrooms, but they were selling it for 75 cents a roll, and I was like, damn, that's pretty good if you really need TP.
Wow. Free roll of toilet paper with every large sub.
I went to, I think it was Ultramart, and they were actually selling masks at the front counter as well. So
yeah, I got a box of they're literally surgical masks. I got them off Amazon, and I was very excited to get them, but I can only imagine now that if I need to get more, I'm gonna have a hard time. And I've even I put an order in for a reusable face mask that had a custom design on it, and I get an email a couple days later from the vendor saying production delays, we don't know when you're gonna get it. And then other websites that all the t-shirt websites I go to, they are all doing face masks now, and they're all sold out.
Makes sense. And everyone's buying them up.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to start being really unsanitary and reusing all of my surgical grade face masks, even though you're not supposed to.
I've been reusing them on occasion. Generally speaking, I'm pretty sure if you leave them outside for a few hours, in the sun, I guess it's decent for them. And they're saying something baking them for a couple hours at like 90 Celsius. I don't know.
Maybe I should do like, maybe I should just like use one for like a few days or a week and do that. Because I've seen people, that would explain why I've seen people have the same type of masks just hanging off their mirrors inside their cars.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So I have 3 masks in my car, one in each side door, and then one in like my center console. So I can essentially rotate. So I'm not using one over and over again.
Yeah.
Hopefully the idea is that, by the time I have to reuse one, it's, not so gross.
Right. Yeah. Like I'll reuse them if I'm going out somewhere and going to multiple stores. I won't like put a new mask on every time I like go into a new store. But
right.
If I'm basically going through one per day on any day where I go out shopping. So I got it's a sizable box. I'm just I fear I got to reorder soon, else I'm gonna run out. So
right.
Or I could just be cool like Kate and just wear a bandana.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of find it a little bit funny that the South is all like against like wearing them. I was like, wait a second, you guys are saying this is taking away your rights, but in reality, it's letting you conceal your identity in ways that you wish you could have before. Like, yeah, why do you like? They just want something to complain about.
So here's something I've noticed too when I've been out and I see hot chicks walking around. Okay, they're all wearing masks now, so there is an element of mystery with hot chicks because the masks are covering half their faces. Like case in point, I'm at Shaw's a few weeks ago. And by the way, I think it was the first time I went out anywhere wearing a mask, and it was before the actual mandate went into effect. I was wearing a mask only because I didn't want to be shunned by anyone in the supermarket because I was, wasn't wearing a mask. And by the way, Shaw's, plenty of toilet paper there today. Like they restocked everything, and I've never seen so many paper goods on shelves before in the last 3 months. So, yeah, there's this chick standing behind me in line at the express lane, and my word, was she just beautiful. But she was wearing a face mask, and I could only think, all right, you take that face mask off, and you have to have the most British teeth. That is the only possibility.
Straight Austin Powers teeth.
Yeah. Oh my word. Like that's just how it has to be. I'm at Whole Foods, and I realized that like people like the lady that was ringing us out sounded very cheery, but like you have to put extra effort in now to make it sound like you're being pleasant, because no one's going to be able to see you smile. They might notice your eyes squint as they do when you smile, but it's going to be so hard now. But yeah,
it definitely adds an extra layer. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the porn to come out for it. Corona porn.
Corona porn. Yeah, it's sort of like how it is out in the Middle East with the burqas, right? It's going to become a whole sacrilege thing. You wear shirts to cover up your tits. Well, now you got to cover up your mouths. Being able to show your mouth now is going to be the equivalent of like, seeing a chick naked.
Release the mask.
That's just how it's going to be. That is the era that we live in. Speaking of boobs, according to a website out of Australia, mate, company sells fake muscles and boobs for Zoom dates. Because that's what we do now. We have our dates on Zoom. I mean, the idea of a Zoom date's kind of weird to me. What do you do? Like, hey, I'm eating food over here. What are you eating over there? It's all virtual. Yeah, it's. I mean, it makes sense if you're my old roommate, and your significant other is across the pond, so all you can do is video chat before you cheat on them, and then call off the wedding like an hour before it's supposed to happen. But I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just how things are going to go now. Like even like, that Tinder bullshit, which I'm trying out again, and my opinion hasn't changed on it in the least. But yeah, what are you going to do with that? Hey, let's enjoy a nice meal over Snapchat.
Well, apparently with these fake boobies, you can truly enjoy it in ways that I wouldn't thought I would ever hear on Zoom.
So like, what do you do? Like you put them on to make it look like you have nicer tits, and then again, element of surprise, just shrouded in mystery.
So you know that experiment where there's like a barrier and you put one hand on each side of the barrier and there's a fake hand next to like the one that you can see. Yeah. And the guy like, he strokes the brush with the hand and then he hits your hand with a hammer. Like it made the internet rounds a little while back. Mm-hmm. I feel like that might be something with the boobs. Like you're going to have the boobs in front of you and like you're going to be watching your significant other touching their boobs and you're going to like follow along. Or they're going to follow along to you and be like, look at what I'm doing to your fake boobies over here. Now do it to your boobies. I don't know. It's going to be weird.
Yeah. This comes from Honey.
I just can't see of any reason this won't be weird.
This comes from honey.9.com.au. Wow, that's a lot. They say, quote, preparing for a Zoom date, although virtual, still clearly demands some aspect of effort, whether that's putting on a collared shirt or enough mascara to shine through on a pixelated screen. Yeah, because then you're going to look beautiful over 144p. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Art. Yeah. Literally a GIF.
Oh my gosh, the abs look even worse than the boobs. It's times like this I wish we could show our viewers pictures.
What is this company called? Sportarly? What a fucking mouthful that is. They say here, quote, order now and watch your socially distant partner's jaw hit the floor on your next virtual date. The site claims their virtual date muscle suit provides buyers with, quote, bulging biceps, perfect pecs, and washboard abs.
My gosh, dude. This is SpongeBob's anchor arms all over again.
As he tries to lift teddy bears. The padded shirt offers that subtle, sexy, and seriously shredded look that many of us dream of. Well, good for me then. There you go. I should take advantage of this. Spokesman for the company, Jake Denon, has claimed that products, quote, have been flying off our virtual shelves since being made live.
I mean, it just adds another layer of like, so when you do finally meet your date in real life, you're going to be like, whoa, you're way skinnier and not as jacked and way more flat chested than I thought you were going to be.
Yep.
Just adds that layer of dishonesty. They're seeding distrust right out the get-go.
Yeah, listen to this. That's what the article goes on to say. Jean Baudrillard first coined the term, quote, hyper-reality when he referred to the theory of individuals finding themselves, for different reasons, more involved in a virtual world than the physical world, often succumbing to exaggerated perceptions of people. Famously, he said, quote, reality no longer has the time to take on the appearance of reality. And with the backdrop of a pandemic where our romantic lives revolve around virtual dates with strangers and social distancing, reality has become exceptionally distorted. In that, such products like Sportarly's comical, exaggerated prosthetic echo something found in the world of Blade Runner rather than a cozy living room Bumble virtual date.
Wow, that just sounds like a Black Mirror episode waiting to be written.
Wouldn't it be like one of those things where you put on the abs, right? But then there's like the little thing that you blow into on the shoulder.
How ripped do you want to be tonight?
Isn't that literally what happened on SpongeBob? Like SpongeBob had to keep blowing up his arms.
Yeah. I recall the initial advertisement had all the way up to muscular. It went all the way to jerk, and then they especially had for the ladies hairy.
All I remember is when they both pop and he's just standing there as they just deflate.
They're just flopping around, and naturally he's in front of the weightlifting competition during that time as well.
Yep. The article concludes with, it remains unclear just what extreme lengths socially distanced singles are going to in order to secure a second stay-at-home date.
Who's to say that you can't date multiple people if you never meet them in real life either?
Right?
I mean, you could be on like 4 or 5 different Zoom dates, maybe even simultaneously, if you're really good at muting the microphone.
Well, there you go. Sounds like you've done this before.
No, never actually. Nope, never tried. But I can definitely picture it. I can see many ways where you can be quite deceptive, especially like you're saying over that wonderful 144p resolution.
Can you imagine trying to do it over like over WebEx?
Oh my gosh.
What garbage. I hate WebEx. I think we were talking about that off air. I can't remember what's off air and on air there, but yeah, WebEx is just the scourge of technology.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit before.
Okay. That's territory that we don't want to venture into. Okay. Shifting gears, let's talk about a band called DEVO. Did you know that the brothers from DEVO were the guys? They're like, they do soundtracks for movies and television shows, but they did the soundtrack for Rugrats.
Did they really?
Yeah, the Mothersbaugh.
I did not know that.
Mark Mothersbaugh, Bob Mothersbaugh. Yeah, it's such a unique name. Like, no one is named Mothersbaugh, but like when I was growing up, you know, I'd always see the name in the credits, and then I learned about DEVO and I see the name. I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same guy. This makes perfect sense now.
That's crazy. So these guys are a little bit like a Daft Punk, where like they're definitely, you know, they've grown past just making music to release. They kind of do it for others.
Right. Yeah, I mean they were definitely kind of picking up things that, like we talked about this last episode, Florian Schneider from Kraftwerk. They were sort of following that lead with electronic music, and they were putting their stuff out at the perfect time. It was the late 70s, early 80s. So, and then the hats too.
Yes,
they were known for
the iconic hat.
Yeah, they were known for the hats, and Mothersbaugh too. I think he's as blind as a bat. There's a whole
judging by those glasses, yeah, he looks it.
Yeah, there's a whole element of charm to him because Coke bottle glasses times infinity. DEVO, they're selling energy dome face shields, you know, because that's where you're gonna make your money now. Like, again, all the t-shirt websites that I frequent all sell face masks now, and it doesn't surprise me that DEVO would do this, but that's pretty genius. I actually kind of want to get one.
Oh my gosh, I would love to walk down the road with that. I'd definitely get somebody commenting.
It's one of those things too where people are gonna know what it is. They're not gonna immediately associate it with DEVO, but they're gonna know what it's from. They're gonna know it's from something.
They'll dig back, especially the older ones. They're gonna be like, I've seen that in the 80s, I swear.
No. The face mask, according to LA Times, described as DEVO's iconic red energy dome hats with an attached clear plastic face protector.
Good thing about the clear face protector too is that is really reusable. I mean, you can wash that up after your trip to the store, hang it to dry, be ready for the next time.
Yep. And that's also, I think, safer than just face masks. Like the face mask that I'm wearing, there's a disclaimer on the box that says it does not prevent like a transmittable disease.
Right.
Like I'm wearing these literally because a government mandate says I need to have something covering my face.
It's my understanding that corona is essentially spread mainly through water droplets and not just like airborne.
Right.
So, I mean, to have a full-blown face shield, yeah, that's gonna stop most of the spittle from the cashier that just talks a little too much.
Right. Not to mention that, like, I can't grow a beard to save my life, but I also haven't, shaved it all in weeks. So, like, what peach fuzz I have right now, I'm wearing a face mask the other day at Whole Foods, and I found myself, like, scratching my face every few minutes and realizing, oh, that's bad. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
But that completely
defeats. You should not be scratching your face, especially not while in the store.
It defeats the purpose, though, of wearing a fucking face mask. Because why the fuck? Like, even
I've already seen a bunch of pictures on the internet of people like holding gloves. Like they're literally texting on their phone, holding the glove that was just that they were touching everything with in their mouth.
Yeah. Oh, there's a dude standing behind me in line at Shaw's who just didn't even give a fuck. He was wearing a face mask, but just barely. It didn't cover his nose. His nose was just exposed. Yeah. Kate, we were at Whole Foods, and Kate looks at me at one point. She goes, "I have to cough so bad."
Oh no!
And I'm like, "Don't do it."
Coughing is like stigma, man.
Yeah, like, don't do it.
Don't cough here, man.
Go outside.
Hold it in.
Go outside and do that, and then wait in line to come back in.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Dude, okay, Whole Foods, every time I've gone to Whole Foods, there's been a fucking line, like, out the door and around the corner to get in, because they're, you know, they're really sticking to their, like, maximum occupancy, whatever. I've been able to go to Shaw's. Like, Shaw's has, like, the markers on the ground for the lines, and they probably only had to worry about that for a couple days, because every time I've gone, I've able to just walk in and out, no problem. Never have to wait in line.
Yeah, I try to go during the off hours. I mean, I'm not going at like 4:00 in the afternoon. That's for sure. I want to be like one of the first people in and out during the a fresh day for the most part.
I actually really want to buy one of these DEVO masks now. I got to see if they're sold out, because
that's the other thing. Yeah, with everything else selling out so fast, I wonder if these will be same way.
Yeah, because
DEVO.com.
I was already going to be a little ridiculous with the face mask I ordered, because I had the design was a album cover by the Stone Roses. So I was already.
It's a whole new fashion accessory too. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's right. Like, all these companies are making bank off of it right now, because like I didn't think about it until I saw literally a Joy Division face mask come up in my Facebook feed.
Nice.
Oh man, it's so bizarre just to think that Chris Cornell and Ian Curtis from Joy Division both killed themselves on the same day. That is so fucking weird. I bring that up because that's literally the anniversary of it is tomorrow, the 18th.
Oh wow, is it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
For Ian Curtis, it's 40 years. He died in 1980, and then Chris Cornell died in 2017. Worst fucking day. I woke up at 4:00 in the morning, 5:00, getting ready for work, and then first thing I see sitting on the pooper is that Chris Cornell died.
Oof. Didn't Chester from Linkin Park do it on the same day as well?
No, he did it in July of that year, but it was not even 2 months. Or maybe,
all right.
It was on Chris Cornell's birthday, actually.
That's what it was. I knew there was some sort of relation there.
Yeah, no, not to mention that they were very close. So yeah,
right.
that dude, that just fucked me up. That was the thing that like drove me over the edge. It was nothing else in life, not even anything personal. It was just a musician that I really liked. Just
I thought you were actually going to roll into some song lyrics there.
No, I'm not that clever.
One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
Yeah, yeah. No, not like any of their lyrics gave it away. It's like, well, it's like Kurt Cobain.
They seem so chipper and upbeat in their lyrics.
It's like fucking Nirvana has a song called "I Hate Myself and Wanna Die." Oh, okay, cool. Nothing could have prepared us for Kurt Cobain killing himself.
Complete shocker. We had no idea.
So yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. Significant anniversaries for me anyway with my Joy Division tattoo. This article says the DEVO co-founder Jared Casale talking about the I'm going to call it headgear. He says, quote, graphically bold design in aggressive primary red, it became the most iconic symbol of the band's multimedia mission to spread the idea of devolution. We explained
I like it.
We explained that once the dome was placed on your head, it recycled the electrical energy that regularly escapes from your brain. People, of course, laughed. Now the dome is no longer a source of controversy or derision. Its popularity is sort of proof that de-evolution is real.
And it could even protect you from the corona now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to buy one. See how much these things cost. They got to be expensive. Something like that can't be cheap.
I don't know. It's just, well, so they might have already had a decent stock of the hats, and then they just need to get that face thing, you know?
Right. Take me to the DEVO store. Oh, well, they do have face masks too that just have the DEVO logo on them.
Whoa. Oh, $20. I looked at the $90 one for a second, but that's a 5-pack. Oh, it's $50 for the mask. Whew.
You know what though? It's a pre-order. Oh, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it.
It's a once in a lifetime chance. They probably won't sell these forever.
Yeah, you know what? This will be a really good. This will be a really good test of how things are going. All right. I buy this, and then I wear it out in public. I wonder what sort of feedback I'll get on it. Like, do you think it's acceptable?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen other people wearing like welding shields,
Or
straight up, and that like I don't even know how they're seeing through those things personally.
Or they're wearing like I can't use PayPal with this. God damn it. I'll have to order this later. Yeah, I see people wearing like the full blown gas masks.
Yep. Which I believe they don't really like. They still expel your full air, but it just filters the air coming in. So you're protecting yourself, but you're not really protecting anyone around you if you already had corona.
Right.
You'd still be spreading it.
No, you are merely adhering to government mandate and even like local mandates too. Like if a store has a sign saying we will not let you in unless you are wearing something that's covering your face, people like me doing the bare minimum to do it.
Well, I mean, some people only can. I mean, shoot, it's just cloth around your face. Like,
right.
It's only so much you can do if you didn't already have medical supplies around, or, if you weren't one of the few people that could, get it ordered and delivered in good time.
Yep. So, well, when we wrap this up, I will make my purchase, my pre-order for the DEVO face mask, which I'm sure,
nice.
Or face cover, which I'm sure will arrive well after the pandemic ends, and there's no need to own such a thing.
Very well could.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll call it at that. Fro, thank you for at 10:30 at night hanging out.
Yeah.
Hanging out to do this with me. I appreciate it.
Much later than my normal bedtime. You know me.
Yeah. Well, I apologize for not doing this yesterday. Believe me, I probably would not have been in the right state of mind to carry on conversations about DEVO and why Nintendo needs to protect their finest asset. So, all right. Well, enjoy your day off. And yeah, what program am I opening here to play the thing? Here we go. All right. We'll talk at you next.
All right.
We will talk at you next time. See you. Bye.
Well, that's it. My old friend Duke's was standing by. We'll get some coffee. We'll get some matzo ball soup.
This podcast is Hardly Focused.
I love the San Antonio Spurs, by the way. If you're betting in the NBA this year, I think they're going to win it all.
Get Hardly Focused on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
So I guess there's nothing more to say but...